Hello everyone. Welcome to the World News. Now, the whole world is talking about this topic today. You will see on YouTube that American, European, Indian, all have made videos on this topic that Saudi Arabia has abandoned petrodollars. There was a 50-year agreement. It will not be renewed now, and now petrodollar is over. And many people are saying that now Saudi Arabia will not sell oil in US dollars. Here you will see that many people on X.com or other platforms have started saying that Saudi Arabia will stop using US dollar for oil sales. Whereas this is not the correct information. I will accept that in the last few years people's interest in geopolitics has increased. But at the same time, people spreading wrong information, people presenting information in a wrong way, have also increased a lot. And this topic of Saudi Arabia US dollar, that there was an agreement between Saudi Arabia and USA that this agreement will not move forward. A lot of wrong information is being spread on the internet regarding this. So in this video, I will explain to you in very simple language what has happened recently, what was the history of this petrodollar, and think logically and see what is happening around you in the world. And then you yourself will understand what the reality is. Now, first of all, you will be able to see here. This is Richard Nixon. He is the former president of USA. He was the president of USA from 1969 to 1974. Indians do not like him because this thing is historically documented. He used to hate Indians, and under him the 1971 India-Pakistan War took place, in which USA openly supported Pakistan, but even then Pakistan lost and Bangladesh emerged as a country. For Indians, Richard Nixon's legacy is largely limited to this. But if you ask the Americans, the Chinese, the people of Saudi Arabia, they may not even mention the 1971 India-Pakistan War because for them Nixon's legacy is related to the economy. Nixon had taken such big steps in his time that it had a revolutionary impact on the economy of the next 50 to 60 years. And even today a Wikipedia page exists about this. You will not find such a page about any other president. It is only about Nixon. The name of this page is the Nixon Shock, because Nixon took such decisions related to the economy. First of all, he ended the international direct convertibility of the dollar with gold. He brought about major changes in the way the USA borrows money. And the biggest thing Nixon believed was that if a country is a democracy, it is a dictatorship. What do we have to do with it? We should see if that country is benefiting us or not. And this thought came from the then USA Secretary of State under Richard Nixon, that is, you can say the USA Foreign Minister, Henry Kissinger. Both Nixon and Kissinger saw Saudi Arabia, and they saw that Saudi Arabia is an oil-rich country. Why are USA's relations with this country bad? Because there is no democracy here. Both of them thought among themselves, who cares about democracy? Who cares about the laws regarding women in Saudi Arabia? There should be dictatorship here. There should be democracy. What do we care? We will develop an understanding with Saudi Arabia that if Saudi Arabia sells crude oil internationally, it will be sold in US dollars. And in 1973, Henry Kissinger, who was the Secretary of State of the USA under Nixon, went to Saudi Arabia and developed a historic understanding. And after that, look, there is a myth in the international community. Yes, I will have to call it a myth here. There is a myth that a secret agreement was signed between the USA and Saudi Arabia, in which it is mentioned in writing that if Saudi Arabia sells crude oil, it will sell it in US dollars only. And in return, the US will provide proper military security to Saudi Arabia. It will give technology to Saudi Arabia, and it will also develop the rest of Saudi Arabia's economy. And the hue and cry that is happening today regarding Saudi Arabia is about this deal that was signed 50 years ago during Nixon's time. On June 6, 1974, this deal has now expired. It has ended. It has been 50 years on June 9, 2024. This deal has ended. And now there is no agreement left between Saudi Arabia and the US. Now look, here you have to understand. Number one, we do not have any actual evidence that a genuine deal was made for petrodollar. Because no agreement, no document related to this has come before the world. The second thing that comes up here is that let's assume for once that the deal has now expired on June 9, 2024. But Saudi Arabia broke this quote-unquote deal last year by selling oil in Chinese yuan. According to me, first of all, there was no official deal. There was just an understanding. Under Nixon, an understanding had developed between Saudi Arabia and the USA that the USA would support Saudi Arabia against Iran. In return, Saudi Arabia would try to sell as much oil as possible for US dollars. It should be sold in US dollars. There was no binding rule that if oil is sold, it will be sold in US dollars only. And then a very logical thing also comes to the fore. The way many media outlets are claiming that this 50-year deal, which was on June 9, 2024, has expired. Now the US dollar has no power left. If it had been so, then the dollar would have collapsed. We are on June 14th. It has been 5 days since this happened. Has the value of the dollar decreased? Has the rupee-dollar ratio suddenly changed that you are getting 40 Indian rupees in exchange of dollar? Or has the dollar weakened as per the Chinese renminbi? Has it weakened as per the ruble? The dollar is where it was. And neither the US government nor the Saudi Arabian government has said anything about it officially. You can just say that this is a matter among the people, that there was an agreement, an understanding, but now that is over. It is very clear to the world that de-dollarization is happening. The process of de-dollarization has started. Slowly the world will move away from the dollar. But this process will be very slow. It is not that the dollar is going to collapse overnight. It is not that suddenly whatever trade takes place internationally related to crude oil, the dollar will not be used there. India's case is different. India is trading with Russia. By default, they cannot use the dollar there, because Russia is not accepting the dollar. Apart from that, Russia has recently removed the dollar from its exchange as well. So the de-dollarization that China and Russia are doing is in its place. But right now Saudi Arabia and other countries will continue to accept the dollar. For a long time, for many years to come. Yes, eventually a time will definitely come. When the mighty dollar will fall, it will definitely fall. It cannot remain the world currency forever. But that event is still a long way off. There is no need to panic right now. There is news that an agreement has ended. Now Saudi Arabia will change. You may see some change in it overnight. For now, you will not see it. Because if we look at the data, we still see that whatever oil trade has taken place in 2023, whatever oil was bought and sold, 80% was done in US dollars. After that, you will see that euro is at the second place. Then after that, the rest of the currencies. Ruble has happened. Chinese renminbi has also happened. You will find the rest of the currencies. Even now, the dollar has complete dominance in the global oil trade. And this dominance will remain for many years to come. And when India's Foreign Minister Drive S. Jaishankar was also asked a question in May 2024, that there is a lot of talk about de-dollarization. What would you say about just stopping the use of the dollar? They had said that de-dollarization is happening, but it will completely take over. The dollar will be finished. This is an exaggeration. The dollar is still the dollar.
Now, I wouldn't go to the other extreme. I hear people speak of things like de-dollarization, etc. I think that is very, very exaggerated. The dollar is still the dollar.
So again, personally you ask me, obviously it would be good if there is no dominance of a single currency in the world. But at the same time, I would not want that you interpret any news in a wrong way, create a wrong viewpoint by giving wrong information, that now the agreement of USA with Saudi Arabia has expired. Now Saudi Arabia will not use the dollar. You need to understand that nothing like this is happening for now. And the reality is, it is completely different. And finally here I will ask you people a question. The question is that recently the United Nations has declared this, that in the coming 1 year, we will dedicate an entire year to International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. Do you want to tell me which year it will be? Many articles have been published on this, that UN has designated it, that this entire year will be dedicated to quantum science and technology. Here are your options: 2024, 2025, 2030, or 2045. Answer in the comments section. Those who give the correct answer, I will give a heart to their comment, so that other people can understand what the correct answer is. With this note, the video ends. Thank you for watching, and as I always say, may the gods watch over you.